Good evening, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. I have quite a few different articles to go over tonight. Wow, has it been a day? I haven't really seen anything else that I would consider monumental come out about the aircraft incident last night or yesterday. So I really don't have any updates on that. Last night I had said that Vince Neil was not on the aircraft. Apparently, it was his girlfriend, a friend of hers. They had their dogs on the plane, or the friend had her dogs on the plane. There was a pilot and a co-pilot. Now that's what I heard, and they initially said 5 people. So I don't know what the deal is with the 5th person. And or maybe they were talking about the dogs. I don't know. Apparently the captain is the one that lost his life. There was a co-pilot on there. I did see somebody in one of the aviation groups say that the co-pilot was actually a friend of his. Initially, when it happened, he said he kept trying to message his friend with no response. I would imagine the friend, the co-pilot, was probably one of the 2 that was in critical condition, taken to the hospital. So, and I believe Rain's friend that was in the aircraft, probably another one that was critically injured. So, again, there's still that 5th person they said was on the aircraft, and I'm not real sure on that. So, lots of stuff today, and I mean a lot of stuff today. Man, a lot of it sounds promising, to be honest. Had an incident today that I'm looking at very suspiciously. I'm waiting for more information to come out. I will give you what I've got tonight, and waiting until they can investigate a little further. Seems, just on the surface, it seems like it could certainly be a terror event. So we'll see. Time will tell. Investigations will unveil and reveal what was going on. So, my goodness. Let me have a sip of coffee and we'll get started. It looks like I've got 7 tabs open tonight. And a scruffy dog. Damn, Dad's doing the news again. Oh, he's got to turn on those stupid lights. Sound about right, kiddo? Blue's not a fan of the show. She's really not. She's spinning around on the futon right now, trying to make herself comfy and as unannoyed as possible. And then she huffed. I love that dog. Anyway, got a few new subscribers from what I had covered yesterday. Welcome to the new subscribers. As I said last night, don't expect anything spectacular. My information is as true and accurate as I can make it, and that's what I focus on. I don't focus on wowing anybody. I'm not after 1 million subscribers. I'm not after, well, they done demonetized us. YouTube demonetized us. I don't think we can get monetization back. Why is that? Because I told the truth, and I consistently tell the truth. So, that's why I tell people if they do want to support us, that little stupid glitchy looking image at the bottom of the screen tells you how. Either through our Amazon affiliate link or from direct donation with PayPal. So either way, we don't expect anything. We're not here for that. So, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. So this first one's, in my opinion, huge. And, initially, when I saw the headlines, when I become aware of what it was that this Anna Paulina Luna was going to be discussing, I was like, okay, because we've heard it before, right? The declassification of documents that never happen. Either that or when we get what snippet they give us, it's so redacted, there's more black line than there is words. I don't know. She's saying that she's not going to play that game. She's saying that, more or less, she's not going to go soft on getting things declassified. Everything from JFK, RFK, Epstein client list. She even mentioned what they now call UAPs, UFOs, and just a litany of things that she plans on getting the information out. So we'll see. I'm actually hopeful. He actually put together a task force, so that speaks for something, I would say. Man, I'm telling you, there's out of everything that Trump is doing, there is only one thing that really, it frustrates me, it disappoints me. I do have enough humility to know that and understand that I may not have all the details, so maybe my position is wrong, and I'm definitely not above owning up to that. But just going from what I do know, but there's only one thing. Other than that, I am very impressed within this first few weeks of what he's been doing. Man, bang up job. So let's go ahead and have a sip of coffee. Have a sip of whatever you're drinking. Like I said, nothing like coffee right before bed. You know what I mean? Speaking of that, what was my dream about? Oh, man. I had an incredible dream last night. Early this morning. What the heck was it? I think I went somewhere. Oh, where was it? Oh, yeah. I actually went to Russia. And it was crazy because in the dream, I was just going there to kind of, more or less visit, check out the country, stuff like that. And it was crazy dreaming about Luna. I hear you there. It was crazy. Because the entire time, like in the dream, I was being tested, right, by their, more or less like their Secret Service. And it's just kind of strange. Before it was all said and done, they were all good with me. But the things that really stood out in the dream was just how gorgeous some of their country was. I remember seeing just some gorgeous mountains, some lush fields. It was pretty cool. I have no idea why I had that dream. It's very strange. It's like the dream I had that I was working with Doge and was somewhere with Elon Musk and some others. And I know that there was a Christmas tree in the room because we stood in front of the Christmas tree to take some pictures. And I remember that it had to be near a port because I looked out the window of the room we were in, and there was actually a warship pulling through the port. So it was pretty cool, and it was pretty vivid, and it was a long-lasting dream, like last night's visiting Russia dream. So I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had such vivid dreams and dreams that last so long. And last night I must have really got a good sleep in, because when I woke up, it was actually after 6 a.m., which is not usual. I normally wake up around 5, sometimes a little before, sometimes a little after, and I'm up, Might lay there for a little bit, but I can only lay there for so long before I get up and come on in here and get everything fired up and... Anywho, let's see. Let me go ahead and bring up the web browser. Anna Paulina Luna to lead task force on declassification of JFK assassination records, Epstein client list. So, article here from Fox News says Representative Anna Paulina, I knew I was going to mess that up eventually. Anna Paulina Luna will lead a new task force focused on the declassification of federal secrets, including records related to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other documents in the public interest, Fox News Digital has learned. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer appointed Luna to chair the task force on declassification of federal secrets. Luna is expected to focus on examining the declassification of materials in the public interest, including the client list of Jeffrey Epstein and files relating to September 11, 2001, COVID-19 origins, UFOs, and more. So if this happens, this is just going to be incredible. It says Fox News Digital has learned that Comer and Luna are sending letters to necessary agencies to kick off the declassification investigations. Sources told Fox News Digital that Comer and Luna sent letters to the State Department, Department of Energy, and the CIA for documents relating to the origins of COVID-19, the National Security Agency, and CIA for records relating to JFK, MLK, RFK assassinations, the Department of Defense and the CIA for 9/11 files, and to the Justice Department for documents relating to Jeffrey Epstein. The creation of the task force comes after President Donald Trump signed an executive order telling the Director of National Intelligence and other appropriate officials to present a plan for the full and complete release of all JFK assassination records within 15 days. And wouldn't you know it, more files have been found. We're going to discuss that in just a little bit. It says he also ordered that the officials immediately review the records relating to RFK and MLK assassinations and present a plan for their full and complete release within 45 days. For too long, the federal government has kept information of public interest classified, and the American people are demanding greater transparency. This secrecy has sowed distrust in our institutions, Comer told Fox News Digital, noting that the task force will build on the Trump administration's efforts to declassify records of national importance and ensure Americans get the answers they deserve. Representative Luna is committed to shining a light on the truth and ending the era of secrecy, Comer said. It's time to let the sunlight in and finally provide answers to the American people has long demanded. I agree. I'm not even sure who that is. Hang on. I'm highlighting the name. I don't recognize the name. Doesn't mean nothing. Hang on, let me throw that in here real quick. Who is he? Is he like on some kind of particular team or something? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything more. Well, yeah, I definitely want to include that. Luna told Fox News Digital the task force will also investigate UAPs, USOs, the Epstein client list, COVID-19 origins, and the 9/11 files. I'm big on the UFO thing. Let that info out. Let's see. The sources said Luna's task force is authorized for 6 months. Fox News Digital is told that members of the task force will be announced in the coming weeks. So I would imagine that they will probably continue. They'll probably extend that if they need to beyond that 6 months. Hang on, coffee time. Like I was saying, there apparently is a whole lot more where that came from. Let me get rid of these email-oleos. And then we'll get you kicked over to here. FBI says it found 2,400 new JFK assassination records. Oh yeah, in that shoebox under the bed, right? Wow, 2,400. I wonder if they were in. Think they were in Biden's garage next to the Corvette. Probably. Let's see. The FBI on Tuesday said it discovered 2,400 new records related to the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy, as federal agencies work to comply with President Donald Trump's executive order last month to release thousands of files. The FBI said it's working to transfer the records to the National Archives and Records Administration to be included in the declassification process. Federal government in the early 1990s mandated that all documents related to the November 22, 1963 assassination be housed in a single collection at the National Archives. And while the vast majority of the collection, which includes over 5 million pages of records, has been made public, researchers estimate that 3,000 files haven't been released, either in whole or in part. The FBI did not say in a statement what kind of information the newly discovered files contain. The FBI in 2020 opened a Central Records complex and began a years-long effort to ship, electronically inventory, and store closed-case files from field offices across the country. The agency said a more comprehensive records inventory along with technological advances allowed it to quickly search and locate records. Jefferson Morley, vice president of the Mary Farrell Foundation, a repository for files related to the assassination, called the FBI's disclosure of the files refreshingly candid. Shows that the FBI is serious about being transparent, said Morley, who is also editor of the JFK Facts blog. We'll see. Again, if they're mostly blacked out, redacted, then, is it really declassifying it? Morley said it sets a precedent for other agencies to come forward with documents that haven't yet been turned over to the National Archives. Trump's order last month directed the National Intelligence Director and Attorney General to develop a plan to release classified records related to Kennedy's assassination. Spokesperson for the Office of Director of National Intelligence said that as required by the order, a release plan has been submitted, but offered no details about the plan or a timeline for when records may be made available to the public. So it just goes on talking about this. This is going to probably get a little bit crazy before it's all said and done. I'm excited. I truly am. I'm excited for it. I'm apprehensive as far as expecting them to actually release everything. Oops. I don't know if they'll actually release everything. I've been around on this ball of dirt for a little while, and I know they say a lot and do little, so maybe it's different this time. Can't say for sure whether or not it is, but maybe it's different. Let's see. National Enquirer paper on steroids gives you hemorrhoids. Wait, what? Oh, man. Yeah, I hope, I really do hope that it's an actual declassification and that we get the good stuff. You know what I mean? Because for far too long, they've just, you know, passed off just enough that I guess they figured they could get away with. And, you know, in all reality, they did. We'll see. We'll see. I know that if they release the 9/11 files, there will be hell to pay. I can assure you that there will be hell to pay, and there are particular allies, quote unquote allies, that we have today may not be allies by the end of that. A couple of the parties involved we do business with on the regular. So I'm not gonna say that as in who. Y'all know that the hijackers were Saudi, right? So they wasn't from Afghanistan or Iraq. They were Saudi. So that would be one of the two nations, and the other one, well, we'll have to wait and see. I think there was a nation that was largely behind it, and when the people find out, there is going to be hell to pay. And in fact, I will say this. During Trump's campaign for his first election, he had talked about it. He had mentioned that, hey, what's it to you, what's up? He had mentioned it during his campaign for his first election. Now, he only mentioned it up until it kind of started to get some traction, and all of a sudden he shut up and never said another word about it. So, he was talking, I'll say he was talking about these particular individuals dancing, and I'll leave it at that. Hopefully, it's in the files and it comes out. Because he had a very, very, very valid question. And most people don't even know to ask. So, it's crazy. Crazy. Again, I'll let them unveil stuff because it's eye-opening, to say the least. You're going to buy Oreos. Jen's probably already told y'all, but... oh, are you telling it now? I'll let her tell it then. But I will say, I checked out some of his music today, and he sucks. I mean, like, sucks. So, hopefully his cookies are better. So... Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. I've got this next article, and it shouldn't be shocking. It shouldn't be surprising, to be honest. It still is on some level. I made a video the other day. I don't remember how long. I published it on the 7th, and it was titled Open Letter to the Left. We ain't going back. And I was pretty straight up in that video, as straight up as I could be in that video, and was honest and transparent. And I think that, I'm somebody, I hate to say that I'm a pacifist. I'm not really a pacifist. I think I'm more of like a leave me alonist. I don't have an issue with war, with fighting, defense, not at all. I do have an issue with being the one to start it. The way I look at life is, why cause yourself more problems than you need? Don't go out and start trouble. My dad warned us, and I'm sure that, this is going to echo a lot of fathers out there. My dad always warned us. He said, be careful, because, you go picking a bunch of trouble, eventually you're going to come across that one guy. And my dad kind of indirectly taught me not to go out picking a bunch of fights and running across that one guy. But my dad pretty much taught me to be that one guy. So, not directly, but everything in a culmination of what he taught, without a doubt, taught me to be that guy. So, I never was one to pick fights. And in fact, I've only fought twice in defense of myself. Any other time I've fought, and I did plenty of scrapping in my day, has been in defense of others, mostly people I didn't even know. So, I'm the kind of person that I can't necessarily promise I'll turn the other cheek. It depends on what's going on, especially now, and my older age. I've got much less patience as far as for that type of nonsense. But I will try to avoid a physical confrontation just because I'm supposed to, right? And like Dad taught, if I jump at the chance to throw down, that one day I'm going to come across that one guy, and he's going to be a meaner, badder one guy than what I was taught to be, So why press my luck? Anyway, I got into all that because, man, I'm telling you, we might reach a time in this country to where there is violence in the streets. And, I don't want to sound cliche or anything, but we could be looking at a second Civil War. Now, I'm not saying that it would look like the same Civil War that we were in once before. Probably much different. Probably much more guerrilla in combat style. You know what I mean? And I've got an article today that I talked about at the top of the show that I'm going to be discussing in a little bit. And I can't promise you that, it's not some kind of an act like that. We've had 2 assassination attempts on President Trump when he was campaigning. And I heard something, yesterday, day before, about a drone or something that Secret Service had to take out. Which, that doesn't, just because it's a drone, it doesn't mean it's an attack drone or anything. It could have been just a camera drone. Somebody trying to get video of the, motorcade or whatever. But, with just how everything has shook out, I guess, within since the Civil War, we've got much more technology now. People are much more scheming, if you will. I don't necessarily think there's ever a such thing as a fair fight, but there is certainly a difference in knowing when you're in a fight and not knowing when you're in a fight. And I think that much of a new Civil War would be fought with not knowing that you're in a fight. A lot of guerrilla tactics, a lot of crazy stuff, especially like what you see over in the Middle East. Yeah, that's the same way I was raised, Kevin. Yep. Dad taught us that, oh wow, that sucks, what's it to you? My dad kind of taught me that. My dad was an interesting character. He was much like that too. But he also taught us, don't ever start a fight, but make sure you damn well finish it. And, he was the type that, you better, you better deal with it. If you come across a bully, you better deal with it. But at the same time, like What's It To You said, my dad was very down on me. Very, very down on me. It was messed up. It was truly messed up. So I got this article here. I've got this one from the Daily Mail. It's been reported all over the place. A pastor calls for violence against Elon Musk in shocking anti-government sermon. Now, to remind you, you've been told nonstop that how the right is the threat, right? Remember how, what was it they were saying? I'm trying to think of the exact word. Was the biggest threat? I don't know if they were using the words white supremacy. I don't think so. I think there was another word they were using for it. But that it was the greatest threat, to this nation. We kept hearing that, and we kept hearing that. And it's strange because it's actually the opposite. Really, truly is. Says a Tennessee pastor has sparked controversy after calling for violence against Elon Musk in a fiery anti-government sermon. I'm pretty sure, I'm a member of the clergy myself, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to instigate violence. It says Reverend Steve Caudle told Congregation Greater Second Missionary Baptist Church of Chattanooga on Sunday that we live in a world that is violent, referencing the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine, before shifting focus to DOJ's efforts to eliminate federal spending. You see how they do that? Fact of the matter is, we live in a world that is violent. You don't believe me? All you have to do is turn on the television set this afternoon and you'll see Gaza, where every building has been leveled by bombs and then shooting and killing, Caudle said. Children bleeding out, all you have to do is look at what's going on in Ukraine, and it's the same thing, he added. Well, yeah, those are war zones. He then warned that the U.S. could soon face similar turmoil. In this nation, I'm worried that we are on the verge of bloodshed. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go back to, or don't want to go, I'm sorry. And let me say that whole sentence again. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go, and we will not go. Therefore, there will be a conflict. There will be conflict. That's kind of like mixed messaging there. Half of it saying we're not going to go back there, and then it closes with, yeah, it's on. Says turning his attention to billionaire Elon Musk, Caudle accused him, acting as a special government employee, because he is, of using Doge to force his way into the Treasury and threaten to steal Americans' personal data and Social Security benefits. Okay, full stop. Elon Musk never said dog was doing the Slurpee and she hadn't been to 7-Eleven. So, first of all, they only have read access. I've said this so many damn times. They only have read access. That's it. They don't have write access. They don't have delete access. They can only look. That's number one. Secondly, they're not doing anything with people's Social Security benefits. They're going to look at what's going on. And the 150-something-year-old guy that's collecting Social Security, they're going to look into that. But just like Elon said today, and it's not that I believe everything Elon says. It's not. It's not even remotely that. I would tell you if I did believe him, and I would tell you if I didn't believe him. And I believe him on this. He says that that they're going to go in, they're going to be very careful, they're going to make sure that anybody that deserves Social Security is not in any way going to be affected. Nothing's gonna, they're not gonna cause harm whatsoever. And I think he legitimately understood how elderly, disabled are very dependent on that. And I don't think he wants to cause any problems. Look, I've got questions about some of Elon's stuff, mainly like the brain chip stuff. And I've got concerns with that. But overall, as far as what Elon has brought to the table, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. It's amazing, all the different things. And listening to him talk in the Oval Office today, you could tell he kind of struggles with that. You know, he's a pretty good clown on Twitter, but when it comes to speaking, he has issues with it, and I understand exactly where that comes from because I deal with it myself. Not on the same level that he does, but a lot of that's because, look, I've been doing this for over a decade now. When my first show, and I've talked about this before, supposed to be an hour-long show, I was shaking like crazy doing my first show, and I could only make it like a half an hour, 28 minutes, half an hour, something like that, because I was exhausted. I was done, and it took a while. It took a good long while to be able to come here, turn the camera on, and to be honest, not give a damn. And that's where I'm at today. I don't care, you know. I don't care if somebody said, "Oh, that's just a guy that sits in a dark room. You know, all we see is the back of his head." Well, yeah, I don't have teeth, man. This is the interwebs, and if I put a camera on my face, we wouldn't be able to talk about the news. We wouldn't be able to have discussions because there are just too many shallow people that don't understand what's important, don't understand how to adjust their priorities. And I'm not here to talk about my lack of teeth. I'm not here to do anything but talk about news and try to bring truth to news. The other two things the Father sent me here for, and I'm just going to mention them, I'm not going to go into them, but pole shifting and wood gasification. Those two things. So, I'm just here to do my job, you know? Not here to impress anybody or anything else. Anyway, going back to the article, let's see. Okay, no one likes violence, but sometimes violence is necessary, he said. Let's see. When Elon Musk forces his way into the U.S. Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information, which he did not do, and your Social Security check, which he did not do, there is a possibility of violence. Call a warrant. Now, see, there's this thing that, you know, in order to be in God's good favor, you can't lie. And that just blows my mind. There are so many people, so many clergy members, that it just absolutely stuns me at how willing and eager they are to tell lies. It's like, wow, you don't think that there's ever really? No. You know, I have been put in my place by the Father. And that's putting it very lightly. And I am blessed. I am blessed because the path that I was on just over a decade ago was a path to hell. And here I had already promised the Father I was going to work for Him, but then I wound up working for myself and my own ego and my own desires, my own lust. And if the Father didn't sit me down, I wouldn't have sat down on my own. I would have continued on and continued on. I was blessed. I truly was. I look at individuals like this. There's some on YouTube. And it's like the Father's not setting them down. And it seems really interesting. That's why I say I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Because without that kick in the nads, I wouldn't have reached the person that I am today. I'm blessed. That's all there is to it. No teeth as a cover-up. I'm alien. That's awesome. I actually like that. That is awesome. Let's see. Musk responded to Caudill's remarks in a post on X on Monday, writing, "This tells me that he is trying to hide massive fraud." Other people who watched the clip online slammed the man of faith. One user wrote, "This is all a lie, and he claims to be a pastor." Somebody else had those thoughts. "Shame on him, and anyone who believes these lies without taking the time to learn the truth. I'm suspicious he's getting money." You know, it's funny. I had somebody I'm Facebook friends with, and I really don't care who you are. I can coexist with just about anybody. And she's a pretty hardcore liberal. And I find it kind of humorous, but I had posted something. She's going on and on and on, going down the list of lies and talking points from the left. And I'm sitting there knocking them out of the air, you know what I mean? And eventually, and watch your ears, kids. If you got kids in the room, watch their ears. She finally got mad and she just said, "Well, he's a piece of shit." I don't like him. And I mean, just like went on that tangent, And it's like, yeah, that's, winning the argument. Yeah, I told her, and I told her out of love, not just to be an ass. I told her, stop with watching the sources that are lying to you. And I even said, and it is a problem with both the right and the left. It's not just the left. It's a problem, period. That people, even when they find out where they're getting their information, their news from, is lying to them, they still go to it. They won't stop going to it. And that just is mind-blowing to me. The moment that I catch on, if I'm subscribed to somebody on YouTube or whatever, and they start telling some tall tales, there's a real good chance I'm going to that unsubscribe button real quick. There is a few that I have hung on with. Monkeyworks. I like Monkeyworks. But there are some things that he talks about that he has no damn clue of what he's saying. I love his channel, and he's got a lot of good content, and that's the only reason why I haven't unsubscribed from him. But he talks out his butt quite a bit. Even when it comes to aviation, he does. It's kind of crazy. Really, truly, it's kind of crazy. But let's see, what else did this say? Another added, a pastor calling for conflict and violence from a pulpit is absolutely non-Christian behavior. And I will speak to that. There's a lot of, there's a lot of people that, if you want to talk about Jesus, they only see him as the lamb. they never see him as the lion. And Yeshua was absolutely both a lamb and a lion. I'll remind you of him turning over tables and chasing people with whips in the temple. That wasn't the only time that Yeshua had to put his foot down. I assure you there's a lot more that you don't see in the New Testament. You hear a little bit more about it in Apocrypha, but very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Let's see. See if there's anything else that's notable in here. You know, here's another statement I guess he said. Says, I ask you to have mercy upon the people. Well, wait, this I guess is this other lady. Let me read the previous paragraph so you understand what I'm quoting. President Donald Trump was once confronted with a pointed sermon from Episcopal Bishop Marianne Budd, who used the National Prayer Service to call on him to show mercy to immigrants and transgender children. I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country that are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives, Bud 65 said, addressing Trump directly. So, full stop. First of all, we need to define this stuff. Number one. And it's just the truth. It's the facts. I can't help it. I don't set the rules of life, right? I don't set science and biology and psychology. Those things are set. If you have some type of gender dysphoria, if you have an attraction to the same sex, I'm not judging it. Father didn't put that task on me to be a judge. I want to make that clear. But the fact of the matter is, and it doesn't change because it hurts feelings, is that every one of those things are related to mental illness. It's a fact. I can't help it. I didn't make it. And the most out of that would be the gender dysphoria, the transgender. That would be the most. The reason I point this out, not to step down on anybody or anything like that, but I suffer from mental illness. I have PTSD. I have bad anxiety issues. And at one point in more than one point in my life, I had absolutely feared for my life. There were periods in my life where I really thought somebody was out to kill me, and that wasn't the case. It's called mental illness. That's all I can say. It's called mental illness. Once you suffer from a mental illness, when it comes to things like anxiety, when it comes to fear for your life, it's going to be more probable with those individuals. I think the most important thing that we can do as a society and as brothers and sisters, the most important thing that we can do is stop playing the games, stop enabling mental illness. That's important. I didn't mean really to get off on this rant, but this is important. We have to stop enabling mental illness. I don't know what else to tell you. Hey, that goes for me just as it goes for anybody else. We just can't enable it. We don't want to condemn other people for it. That's not the right answer. But we shouldn't enable it. We shouldn't call wrong things right. And, here's the thing. If you are involved with somebody, and when I say that, friendship, platonic, what have you, that is doing something that you feel is wrong, it doesn't mean that you got to remind them that you feel it's wrong every time you see them. And it all depends on you. It all depends on your morals and what it is that you're willing to accept. And you have the right to set those limits. You have the right to set those limits. Don't let anybody tell you you don't. Yes, you do lose friends when you call wrong. Sometimes, though, sometimes that's not necessarily a negative. Again, it all depends on each particular situation. The pen is blue. Oh, man. But yeah, we need to address that. And if we're not firm about addressing the mental illness aspect of it first, above anything else, then we will absolutely fail in that battle. We will absolutely fail in that battle, because they'll always push it to the emotion thing. They'll always push it to how you should be ashamed. And nobody should be ashamed. Nobody. You shouldn't be ashamed for knowing the difference between right and wrong and being courageous enough to call it out. Neither should they be ashamed for suffering from mental illness or gender dysphoria or anything of the such. You can love somebody without accepting their lifestyle. You don't have to accept somebody's lifestyle. To be quite honest, I don't accept most people's lifestyle. It doesn't mean I condemn them. Doesn't mean I will, not have anything to do with them. If you watch over about 3 hours or 4 hours of TV a week, I don't accept that lifestyle. I'm not holding it against anybody. I'm not judging anybody. But put down the damn remote. And I couldn't say that with any more love. Put down the damn remote. As somebody that quit watching TV in 2006, I can tell you that my thought process is much different. Much, much different as a result of that. Me not seeing all that reality TV stuff, huge difference. Absolutely huge difference in what I see. That was probably one of the best things I did, was stop watching TV. And, to be honest, I wasn't much impressed with it. The last show that I really, really enjoyed watching, back when it was still, coming out, was Home Improvements. I loved Tim Allen. I thought it was great. I thought Roseanne was funny. I really did. She was hilarious. But I honestly didn't feel like it was a good choice for people to watch. The, constant knocking each other down, the, one-liners kind of stuff. Here's the thing. You memorize stuff I learned this as a little kid in school. You memorize stuff by going over it and over it and over it. So if you wanted to memorize, 3 plus 3 is 6, you went over that and over that so many times when you were in school. Why? Because the way you remember something is that when you take that path, if you will, your brain will deepen that path, just like a path in the woods, right? If you put a 3 in one spot and put a 3 in another spot in the woods, and you kept walking back and forth between that 3 and the other 3, and you added them, you're going to make that path more prevalent. Your brain works the same way. And so when you constantly take on that stuff, you are literally training yourself in those ways. And so I saw what was going on with TV, and I know that there was always stuff. You had Sanford and Son, you had All in the Family, but it wasn't on the same level. Truly wasn't. In some ways it was a little more risque, if you will, but it wasn't nearly on the same level. There were a lot of things in the older TV shows. You had to do a little thinking to know what, you had to put some thought into finishing the joke, because they just didn't come completely out and say it most of the time. All in the Family and Sanford and Son were probably two of the biggest exceptions on that. But they were funny, and they weren't meant for kids, That's the other problem we got. But I know, man, we just got off on another tangent, didn't we? But it's important, It is really, truly important that folks watch what they take in and what they let teach them, if you will. Very important. Wow, it's almost already been an hour. Let me grab a sip of coffee here. And, that's cool. Breaking news, soon apparently freed American hostage meets with Trump at the White House. That's awesome. Awesome. I gotta mention this about today. Elon had his son X in the Oval Office with him when they were doing a press briefing. At some point, I couldn't tell you, maybe halfway through or so, X walks up to the Resolute desk. He's standing there, near Trump. And he starts digging for gold, you know what I mean? He is picking his nose like mad. And then he reaches over and wipes it on the Resolute desk. I about died. Hey, it's a kid thing, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But it was like on live TV, and it was like hilarious. He was acting, I'm pretty sure that Elon has Asperger's, if I'm not mistaken, and I would imagine his son X probably has Asperger's. He definitely acts like it, which is not, again, that's not a bad thing. Actually, it's a good thing. In my opinion, it's a really, really good thing. My oldest boy was diagnosed with Asperger's, and there are a hell of a lot of people that would tell you that I have Asperger's. That's not what's up with me, but I can completely understand why people would think that I do have Asperger's, because I've got a lot of the traits, but that ain't quite what it is. And I wouldn't be surprised, to be really honest, with my oldest boy, if they, oh, you saw that, huh, Kevin? I wouldn't be surprised if my oldest boy, if they looked more into it, found out that he actually has the same things I deal with and not actually Asperger's, because I'm pretty sure it's hereditary what I deal with. And, I haven't seen my youngest two in over a decade, but I would not be surprised if they if they have it too. Not even a little bit. Yeah, he did do pretty good. He did do pretty good. Not bad at all, really. But it was just kind of funny because you could tell, when he did the kind of the weird stuff, it's nervousness. He was just nervous. It is what it is. I just thought that was funny that happened. Not something you normally get to see in the White House. Oh yeah, when he was putting his finger in Elon's ears, yeah, that was funny. That was actually pretty hilarious. And it's nice seeing the kid, how they will bring their kids in there like that. To me, that's really cool. It really, truly is. It's a big deal, really, for the kids. They probably have no idea right now how big of a deal it is, but they'll appreciate it later on in life. And I think it's important to see that side of the folks that are doing the heavy lifting in our nation. I really do. It's a really good thing to see. Actually, that is what RT had just binged me for, and I'm going to go to the RT article because they're not 10 miles long. So I'm like already in overtime. I'm in overtime, and I've got, what, 4 more tabs. So, and I really don't want to cut any of them out. Let's see. Trump orders federal agencies to comply with Musk DOGE cuts. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order mandating U.S. federal agencies to implement workforce reductions and efficiency measures outlined by the Department of Government Efficiency led by Elon Musk. Signed on February 11, 2025, the order directs agencies to limit hiring to essential positions and collaborate with DOGE to identify areas for significant staff cuts and potential agency eliminations. Appearing alongside Trump in the Oval Office on Tuesday, Musk defended the initiative, stating that the American people voted for major government reform and that's what they're going to get. It's not optional for us to reduce federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, Musk said. We have this unelected, unconstitutional fourth branch of government, the bureaucracy, which in many ways currently holds more power than any elected representative, he added. It does not reflect the will of the people, so it's something we've got to fix. Man, I think everybody has called for that, for the most part. And that's what's so dumbfounding to me with the left's reaction to this stuff. Because all of this stuff, they were big about getting rid of, not even that long ago. But it's really weird how people just follow the Pied Piper so much today. It goes on to say we've also got to address the deficit, a $2 trillion deficit. If we don't do something about this, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department's budget, Musk noted. And that is because, man, we have an unbelievable bill every year for our Defense Department. Unbelievable. And if the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed that, wow, we really need to cut a bunch of stuff out. Because, I honestly don't buy we've been able to be sustainable for this long, to be quite honest. I think they've just printed their way out of everything. Unfortunately, that's why you and I are having a hell of a time being able to buy enough food or this, that, and the other thing. Buying houses right now is out of the question for a large majority of people. It's just not good times. And I think a lot of it comes down to, well, we lost our jobs, our true base, we lost that. And then you've got the constant, printing of money and spending of money. Inflation has rose to an unbelievable amount as a result. And it's everything down the line. We stopped producing as much of our own energy. Just, you stack everything up. I don't even see how we're we're technically not solvent right now. But I don't see how we can even act like we're solvent. Some of these I'm just going to kind of, like this one, I'll just kind of read the headline. Tom Homan believes ice raid leaks are coming from inside as Aurora leaker closer to being identified. Now, I'll tell you what, Tom Homan is not playing around. He is not playing around, and he is about to, he's about to bring the smackdown, I think, on a lot of people. Between him and Pam Bondi, it's really going to be interesting. I hope that Tulsi Gabbard gets confirmed tonight. And I think it's a total shame that they're set to have the vote at some 12:30 in the morning. I mean, come on, what's up with that? Holding the vote at 12? You can't tell me that those quote-unquote elected officials want to be at the Capitol at midnight. You can't tell me that. And so I'm automatically suspicious from the jump when you tell me that the people that do everything they can to get as many raises as they can and have as much vacation time as they can want to meet at midnight to take a vote? Yeah, there's something with that. And I ain't buying it. I mentioned earlier that I like coffee. I have said that. I mentioned earlier that I think that we're going to start seeing more like guerrilla tactics being used, and that I think a modern day civil war would have a lot of guerrilla tactics being used. We're not going to dress up in uniforms. We're not going to all go line up with our drummer boy. And you know what I mean? It ain't going to go like that. Ain't even going to go like Vietnam. You know what I mean? You aren't going to know. You simply aren't going to know. I mean, if their hair is bright blue or bright pink, you might have a pretty good idea. But for the most part, you're not going to know. Now I'm going to refresh the page just in case there's been an update. Vehicle explosion at Sun Metro headquarters near El Paso Airport, 7 injured. This is what I was talking about earlier. I was saying that I'm kind of keeping my eye on here. A vehicle explosion in East El Paso near the Sun Metro bus headquarters injured several people, prompted evacuations, and sent a plume of smoke into the air. According to the El Paso Fire Department, at around 1:06 p.m. Tuesday, a fire broke out at 10151 Montana Avenue inside a maintenance garage at the Sun Metro Center near the El Paso International Airport. Well, there's a couple of words there that wasn't there earlier. Maintenance garage. So it could be an accident, I suppose. Oops. Says EPFD said people evacuated the area and a total of 7 people were injured. Out of those 7 injured, 4 were taken to the hospital while 3 refused. Out of the 4 sent to hospitals, 3 were taken to Del Sol Medical Center, and they say 2 are in critical condition and 1 is in serious condition. Fire officials first described it as a vehicle explosion. However, they are still investigating the cause, and now can't confirm if it was that. And I don't see anything as far as anything they have uncovered in an investigation. So we'll just have to see if they provide more information tomorrow on it. But I think that I do think that if there is conflict in this country, this is what you're going to see a lot of. I think you're going to see a lot of car bombs and stuff like that, or just whatever, allegedly at the New Year's incident down in New Orleans, there were 2 devices that were in coolers that weren't detonated. Is that true? I don't know. The first assassination attempt on Trump, there was said to be an explosive device in the vehicle that the suspect drove. Again, I don't know. That seemed a little funky because I think they said something about he had no way of setting it off or something. I don't know. But there's a lot of that story that is very interesting. I think that's how you're going to see a lot of it play out. I think you will see attacks on notable individuals and just places they go in everyday life. If they go out to dinner somewhere, if this happens, I think that's largely what we're going to see. I really do. Oh, you have a good one, Intergalactic Wrangler. I think that's largely what you're going to see, how it's going to shake out. Nah, I don't even really need to go over that one. I am good. I'm kind of tired now. Not that I had tons of energy before I started, but... And yeah, I can sit here and drink coffee and be tired. I do it, all the time. In fact, sometimes I would argue that it makes me tired. I know that sounds strange, but I have coffee 3 times a day. Morning, noon, and then when I do the show. And my noontime coffee, there's times to where I'll get 1 cup down and I really want to take a nap. I don't know, something don't sound right with that, but that's how it is almost every day. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Grab my other vape. What is it they call this stuff? Heisenberg or something like that? The vape juice I'm vaping on. Tastes like kind of like a blue slushy. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah, that'd probably be a good thing, the Watchman. It's probably good advice. I don't have a blood pressure. I don't have... when it comes to that stuff, hell, we don't even have a thermometer, man. No joke. We don't even have a thermometer. There are a few things I would like to have. I'd like to have a glucose meter because throughout my life I've dealt with hypoglycemia. And if you're asking me why we don't, it's just something I've never bought. And it was something that, oh, thank you, Kevin. It was something I've never bought. And, now we've been so tight, there is just no way. We literally, every single dollar, every single penny counts. Blue battles with her ears nonstop. And the only medicine we found that even remotely helps her, it was $36 and some odd cents is what I paid today. And the only way we could even get it was because Jen had birthday money. That's it. I mean, we just lucked out with that. We've lucked out every time. I give all credit to the Father. He's made sure that we've had what we need. Now, I would say we probably need some basic stuff like a thermometer and blood pressure, cuff. I would like to have a pulse oximeter, to be real honest, and a glucose meter. We've got a med kit in there. I've even got a suture kit and all that stuff, but we don't have like just the basics, like a thermometer. Like I say, thermometer, glucose meter is not basic stuff, but pulse oximeter, that's pretty basic. Blood pressure monitor, or you know what I mean. I like the electronic ones to make it easy. I've never actually done blood pressure by using the cuff and the stethoscope. I've always had the electronic ones that you just wrap around your arm, push the button, and you're good to go. We need to. That's something I really need to put my foot down, though. And hopefully our nation is on a better path now. Because what I do, the line of work that I do, it's certainly not doing news on YouTube. I never intended to make money doing news on YouTube. I do websites, I build websites, and I do cut vinyl decals. And both things, typically, the cut vinyl decals, I do bulk, mainly bulk orders. And those are both websites and the cut vinyl decals. I typically work with businesses. Websites are a form of advertising. So are the decals. So when the economy is in such bad shape like the last 4 years has been, that means I have less opportunities. And so that's why I haven't been able to finish up getting those things. I've got a list of stuff that we need to finish up getting, and we just don't have the funds to do it. Some of it's pretty important stuff. Again, I praise the Father for Him giving us what we absolutely had to have, and I just pray for being able to get the stuff that we need, but not necessarily as urgent as her ear medicine, for example. Kelp oil and the best prebiotic and less sugar. Ooh, the less sugar is a killer, brother. Yeah, I've always gotten the blood pressure ones that would go on the upper arm. That's the ones I've always got. You kind of tighten it up with the Velcro thing, hit the button, it tightens up. And I've never had one with on the wrist, but I have seen those. Yeah, I need to replace the aspirin. We had aspirin in the medical kit, but there were times that I had to have something. And so I've taken every bit of ibuprofen and aspirin and everything that was in that medical kit. I need not only to replace the aspirin and the ibuprofen from the medical kit, but I probably need to stop using ibuprofen because I take it daily for the most part. And that's probably not a good thing. I need to probably switch to aspirin. Baby aspirin, absolutely, especially for the heart. I really need to make those changes. I really should. Next time I order medication, the way that the way that I got this bottle of ibuprofen right here was because of our Amazon affiliate. It had been like months and months since, because you got to build up $10 in your Amazon affiliate in order to, earn a payout. And it took months to build that $10 up. And that's what I used it on. I used it on ibuprofen. Yeah, I know I know, and it's bad for, what is it, kidneys? Ibuprofen's bad stuff, and I really need to get away from it. I was told by someone here local that I'd be much better served by going with aspirin, and I don't know why. I have it, I guess. But the next time I order medicine, I'll have to get aspirin. So, yeah, and that's to be honest, is where Watchman said ibuprofen may be for tooth infection, but not good. That's actually where I got used to the ibuprofen at, because of my teeth issues. When I was talking about my teeth earlier, I only have like 1.5 teeth. That's no joke. That is absolutely no joke. The rest of my teeth have literally rotted away. I inherited my mother's teeth, which wasn't good. And then I used to be a complete soda addict. That's all I used to drink was soda. And between the two, I don't have teeth left. And I have felt the pain of every single one of those teeth. And ibuprofen is how I got through it. So it would just knock enough of the edge off the top to where I didn't give myself concussions from banging my head into the wall. Because, man, I'll tell you what, there ain't no pain like tooth pain. It sucks. I'm actually glad I've only got a couple more left that I could experience pain from. Because, man, a lot of pain. Here's a fun fact. I've only ever had one black eye in my life. Only one black eye in my life. And I gave it to myself. I gave it to myself. There's, as far as like medical and stuff, I've got no way, brother. No way. The only thing that I can do, and we do, is we stay away from the processed foods and stuff like that. I make bread. The only things that I do that aren't in my best interest is I don't drink water. I only drink coffee or tea. And I like a fair amount of sugar in both. So, but that's it. I mean, vaping isn't harming me. Man, if you believe that stuff that they say about vaping, man, look, the body actually needs a certain level of nicotine. There's nicotine in tomatoes and various other foods that you eat on a regular basis. Nicotine isn't what is so harmful in smoking. Oh, yeah, I know. Veronica, I know. Don't go down that road with me. I've been involved into vaping ever since it came to this country. I know the propaganda, front and back, every single bit of it. I know about the fake claims that the metal from the coils from vaping would cause you to inhale all these bad elements. Well, first of all, the coils, when we use them for vaping, don't get anywhere near as hot as what they did for that quote-unquote testing. Yes, the body does. Look it up. The body does need nicotine. But you normally get it in just regular foods, like tomatoes and other foods and all that. Yes, it does. Does it need as much nicotine that you get from smoking or vaping? No, absolutely not. That's silliness. But, yeah, you do require some amount of nicotine, just like you require some amount of salt. There's a lot of things that you require just at least a little bit of. that you normally get one way or the other. I agree. The cigarettes today, insane. And that's why I don't smoke. You know, that's why I would never go back to smoking. The fire, I'll tell you what, almost everybody I know, when they came out with the fire safety cigarettes, developed a hack, a cough. Pretty much every smoker I know. And I really done myself in because I started rolling my own cigarettes. And what I would buy from the local tobacco shop is it was advertised as pipe tobacco, but that was only for tax reasons. You know, you were taxed on a lower bracket with the pipe tobacco, but it was really more geared, more flavored, if you will, for cigarette tobacco. And it had a lot of paper and nonsense in it. No, you don't need to get it through a cigarette source. That's why I was saying, you know, like tomatoes, and there's various other foods that have it in it that normally people get it in. No, nobody needs to smoke. Nobody needs to vape. But I will argue in a heartbeat about that whole vaping is bad for you thing. The reason why is I make my own vape juice. I know what goes in it. Literally, I know what goes in it. And if you don't, you know, want anything that's in an easy, I don't know what to tell you. Quit eating candy. Quit drinking any kind of soft drinks, whether it's soda, whatever type of flavored kind of juicy kind of drink or whatever. Anything like that. You gotta walk away from all that if you're worried about what's in vaping. I make my own juice. I know what's in it. There's propylene glycol. No, it has nothing to do with antifreeze. And it's in, gosh, so many things that you use or eat or drink on the daily. It's in a lot of stuff. Propylene glycol. Vegetable glycerin. Breathing treatments. Breathing treatments have both vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. In fact, I could probably look at my inhaler here and find the propylene glycol. And flavoring. Candy flavoring. And of course the nicotine, but that's it. You know, a lot of people want to go on about how bad e-cigs are, and they have no damn clue of what's in it. And they'll go on and on and on about how they know this, they know that, they know the other thing, but they don't know a damn thing. And I am a staunch defender of vaping. I have seen the lives it has turned around. I know what its effects had on me versus smoking. I've seen hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people that have not only stopped making themselves worse, but got better. It is what it is. I know. They do. You know, Veronica, if you believe everything you see, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. And just because you emotionally want to support something, and so automatic it's the truth, you're going to have to get over that. If we are headed to some very, very dark times, and if you don't learn better discernment than that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I know. You know what? Do you promote the COVID vaccine, Veronica? Do you? Because I know lots of medical professionals that did and still do, as a matter of fact. Okay, so fine, you don't. But how many nurses and other medical professionals will demand you go get it and get the boosters or the seasonal flu shot. So you can go on with your bullshit about vaping all you want. I know the truth. And if you don't want to actually look into what is in it, that's fine. Just like I'm bullied consistently about vaping. When I make my own juice, I've got a 120 ml bottle of it here. I make my own. I know what's in it. You do not. Because you haven't made a single damn bottle of it, but you want to tell me about how bad it is based on some bullshit images that were provided to you that you emotionally attached to. You need better discernment than that. You need better discernment than that. If you're not willing to yourself dig and research and not just go with what's handed right there for you, how in the hell are you going to get past what we have coming? Just saying. Okay, whatever. I know. I didn't see hundreds of people turn their lives around. I didn't see that. I wasn't a part of that. I know. From the x-ray machine. Even though that wouldn't do nothing. But whatever. So do the patients have that same effect from receiving breathing treatments? Because it is literally the same damn thing. Add some nicotine and some flavoring, and it's the same as a breathing treatment without the albuterol or whatever active ingredient you have in that particular solution. It is what it is. I believe in science, not emotion. Literally just a breathing treatment with flavoring and nicotine. That's it. And I will defend it till the day I die. No, has nothing to do with it. You being female has nothing to do with it. It's your reaction. Whatever. I really don't care, Veronica. I don't. Really don't. See, that is what's proving you're emotional. I sat here and I listed the ingredients. I sat here and I explained it to you. And I'm still wrong? How's that? You can't give me a scientific basis for any of it. You couldn't even tell me what the ingredients in vaping were. So then what is it you're basing you emotionally attached to a predetermined position? I know that. And again, I make my own juice. What is the two biggest reasons I make my own juice? For one, I'm poor, okay? And for two, I know what's in this. Because there's a lot of companies that put additives in theirs that I'm not hip on. In fact, this Heisenberg stuff I'm vaping on has just a touch of a additive called culotta. Okay? Now, I don't know what effects, to be honest, that culotta would have on an individual over an extended period of time. I couldn't tell you. But it causes like a cooling effect, kind of like, when you're drinking a blue slushie, has a cooling effect on the tongue. That's what culotta does. It gives you a cooling effect on the tongue. I don't use any additives like that in the juice that I make. And that's why, because I have no idea what long-term effects that they would have. So it is what it is, right? It's no different than somebody going out and cramming McDonald's food down their mouth every day. It's no different than somebody going and getting the quick, easy-to-fix, microwavable foods every day to eat. They have a choice. They can eat healthier if they want. We choose to eat healthier. I don't mind putting in the extra time, the extra work to eat healthier. Just like I don't mind putting in the extra time, the extra work to make my own vape juice so I know what is in that. We make our own laundry detergent. For one, it's much cheaper. And for two, I know what's in it. If I had the stuff, and it's a BS excuse for me to say this, and I know it is, but if I had the stuff, I would make our own body washes, I would make our own deodorants, I would make all that stuff. Why? Because I know about the aluminum oxides and stuff that's in, we use borax in our laundry detergent. Yep. I know about the aluminum oxides and whatnot that are in things like body wash and deodorants and stuff like that. I know all about it. We make a choice. Not all of us make a conscious choice, but we make a choice when we buy and we use these products. I try to cut down on as many things like that as I can, as I feasibly can. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if I would not have quit smoking in 2013, I would not be here now. There is no way. I was smoking 3 packs a day of roll-your-owns, and when I say that, I did the filter tubes and the tobacco, and let me tell you what, on those filter tubes, that filter's like not even half the length of a filter of a regular Marlboro or a regular brand cigarette. I can also tell you that the cheap tobacco that I was buying had tons of paper in it. And because I smoked 3 packs a day, that's how I had to do it. I couldn't afford to go out and buy even the generics. If I would have continued smoking, I would be dead. I don't have a bunch of crutches in my life. My crutch is nicotine. And so, as long as I can do that by vaping, I will choose to do it by vaping. I just will. I've seen too many people that were in a really bad way switch from smoking to vaping and wind up living a normal life. I'm not lucky in that it could do anything to reverse the damage I'd already done as far as COPD is concerned. But I can tell you that my COPD has not gotten a bit worse from the time I quit smoking till now, which has been over a decade. 2013 is when I quit smoking. Yeah, I had actually quit smoking a couple of times in my life. One time, it's kind of funny, one time I did it with sunflower seeds. And the funny part was I discovered the flavored sunflower seeds, the Cool Ranch and the nacho cheese, and I loved them both. But I really like the nacho cheese. And let me tell you what, you quit smoking and use nacho cheese sunflower seeds for about a week, you're going to be bound up so bad. Oh, that sucked. It bound me up bad. But, yep, I quit smoking with sunflower seeds. And then, you know what? Dumbass me, I started smoking back again out of spite. To be real honest, out of spite. Yep, that's all, man, I vape and I smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't do any other kind of drugs other than ibuprofen. That's it. I smoke and I smoke weed. Or I vape and I smoke weed. That's it. That's it. And I get so much benefit as far as with the anxiety, the PTSD. It helps me sleep. And I'm convinced it's doing a ton of other good things for me that I don't even know about. You know? I'm a massive proponent of weed. I have been ever since I was a teenager. Literally, my report in health class in high school was alcohol versus marijuana. And the teacher didn't like it. Teacher tried to give me a bad grade on it. I proved every single thing. I provided every single source that I used. And he had to give me a good grade, a fair grade, because everything I posted was correct information on the money. But they did not like it. Yeah, I do need to check that. Now, see, I used to always have, my blood pressure and my heart rate used to always be a little low. So, no, my COPD isn't worse. I can actually do some tasks a little better than what I could before. I think I would know. It's kind of like my body. I would know. And this was shortly after I quit smoking. So I went to vaping right after things with myself and my family blew up. It was right then. I mean, I quit smoking Thanksgiving Eve of 2013. And it was January of 2014, and my COPD was so bad that I couldn't even change a tire on a car. When I say change the tire, I'm not talking about unbolting the tire off the car. I'm talking about taking the tire off the rim and putting another tire on the rim. I couldn't even do that. I mean, I literally could not do that. I could do that now, not a problem. I could absolutely do it right now without a problem. Would I have to pace myself? Yeah. When I mow grass, I have to pace myself. I'm doing better than what I was. Not worse. Sorry, but I live in this vessel, and I deal with this vessel. My COPD is not worse. It is what it is. I don't have any more breathing problems. I don't get winded like I did immediately after quit smoking. That's for a fact. And I can actually do a little bit more now than I could, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. So, wouldn't make a difference. What, 15-inch rims? Yeah, that wouldn't make a difference. Not a problem. Or even if it was 16-inch rims. In fact, I will say this about changing tires by hand, that the bigger the tire, well, and I'm not talking about like semi-tires or tractor tires or nothing like that. I'm talking about automotive tires. The bigger the tire, the easier. I'd much rather change a 15 or a 16-inch tire than I would a 13-inch. Much, much rather. They're so much easier. Something I did a lot in my time. There are two things in my young days, my teenage days. I had what I called unemployment oil and unemployment tires. And what that was the unemployment oil was the oil that Dad, after he changed oil in vehicles, I would use that oil because a lot of my cars would like burn it or leak it, and I would use that oil to make sure I had enough oil so I didn't burn my engine up, because I was too busy spending my paychecks on stupid stuff. And then the unemployment tires. This is a good one. There's a tire shop here in town, and they would take the old tires that they took off of vehicles, and they would put them in the back of the building, right? And we had asked. Dad actually took me there once and asked if we could asked them if we could look through the tires, see if we could find something for my car, and they let us do it. I know things are different today, liability and all of that, but they let us do it. And that's where I went. If I needed tires to put, if I had cords showing on tires or whatever, I'd go back behind the place there and back behind the shed, and I would grab best looking tires I saw out there. And I'm gonna be honest, there were times that I went out there and I would find a full set of tires that weren't in bad shape at all. Maybe 50% tread. One of them a lot of times would actually be almost all the tread. And what it was is somebody had a tire, flat, they got something in it, whatever the case, and they would go to the shop and they'd say, go ahead and just replace all of them, even replace the spare. And so the one really nice tire would have been the spare, and the other three were, the ones they took off the car that were still good. And of course, I'd leave the one that went flat. But man, I got so many tires that way. Called them unemployment tires, what I call them. Really, I've never a 747. I would imagine that's probably got a split rim. I would imagine. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard airplane tires are no joke. I've put tires on an ultralight, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count at all. That's like putting lawnmower tires on. You know what I mean? That doesn't count. But airplane tires, I'm pretty sure most of, if not all, are like split rim. And I remember Keith changing a couple of tires out at the hangar. So, and he had much more serious tires than what I had. Mine were smaller than on my ultralight. They were smaller than on, say, a lawnmower, lawn tractor, whatever. Much smaller. I don't even know what size to really compare them to because they were pretty small. I think they were like 6-inch tires, and I'm not talking about the bead. I'm talking about the height of the tire. They weren't big. 6 or 8-inch, something to that effect. Poor kiddo is battling her ears. We get more ear medicine for her tomorrow. It's supposed to be here, so we had just enough in the bottle that I could give her a treatment today. She doesn't have to, she doesn't get them every day or anything, but she needs to go for a few consecutive days with it in both ears. So I can start that tomorrow, thankfully. And that'll help her out for a while, but it'll come right back. It's maddening. It really, truly is. Oh, okay, Kevin. Sorry, brother. I just saw that, and I want to make note of that. Absolutely. I'll talk to the father on helping you quit tobacco, because Believe me, I know what kind of addiction that is. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the only thing I could tell you to do is if you're still smoking tobacco products, my advice would be to go to vaping. That would be my advice. And then if you really want to quit, all you got to do is move down on your nicotine levels. And once you're to zero nicotine, it's nothing but that hand-to-mouth thing. And that's all you have to get over is the hand-to-mouth thing. So it's, I mean, if you can quit completely, that's the way to go. There are people that can't just quit cold turkey. There are people that the patch doesn't work for. It didn't work for me. I took, what was it? Was it Wellbutrin or whatever? And the Wellbutrin, man, after about a half a week or so, the nightmares and stuff like that, and my mood, oh my God, it was not good. I quit that real quick. But I did patches. They didn't help at all. I didn't try any of the other stuff. To be honest, the most successful thing was the sunflower seeds. I was able to do that, and I'd have been good if my dumbass didn't start smoking out of spite. So, yeah, cold turkey is, that's a rough one. But man, if you can do it, especially if you can reach like that three week mark, if you can reach that 3 week mark and you stick to it, you've got it beat. That's the truth. I don't know, Kevin, if you've tried sunflower seeds. Go easy on the nacho cheese ones, and if you have to have nacho cheese, make sure you stock up on the X-Lax. But if you haven't tried sunflower seeds, give it a shot. It really, truly helps. And Veronica is absolutely correct with that, with finding your triggers. And this is a common one for smokers. When you get in a car, you get ready to fire it up and go somewhere, you gotta light up that cigarette before you start the car. That's a trigger. You have to train yourself not to do that. And there's various triggers that we all have smokers have when it comes to that stuff. Like Veronica says, she's absolutely correct. Once you can identify those and start doing the opposite every time, it's a big help. It's a huge help. Yep, and that's, like Watchman said, hard candy, absolutely. Anything to keep that mouth doing something. Oh, right on. Well, thanks for coming, Watchman, and prayers back to you, and I hope you have a good evening, brother. That's also the other thing, Veronica. I noticed this Heisenberg stuff I'm vaping, it's bought, and it's bartered, and it will actually make me hack if I vape enough of it. It will make me hack a little bit. Mine doesn't do that. And again, I just dropped it. That's got a additive called Culata in it. And I'd bet dollars to donuts that's what's making me hack. And like when it comes to like the THC vapes and stuff, I can't do them. I cannot do them. It will make me hack and choke and cough. I can't do them. And it's something, I guess it's something with my COPD, I guess. I had a friend over here about a week and a half or so ago. And he had a THC vape. And I'm like, he took a big old drag off of it and all that. And I'm like, I didn't see him choke up, cough, eyes water, nothing. I'm like, yeah, let me have that. And I was easy on it, like really super easy on it. And man, I was coughing and hacking up a lung. I don't know what it is that's in that stuff. I guess maybe it could be the terpenes that's in it. But, yeah, I can't do it. So, and my coughing is actually pretty well gone unless I sit there and huff on that thing for a little bit. Actually, when we lived at the last place, my coughing was like, oh, lightweight. When we were at the last place, we were living at the last place, I had a real bad, if you remember, I coughed and hacked all the time. It was bad. It was nasty. That changed when we moved here. I'm going to be real honest. I think it was mold that was causing that. Pretty sure it was mold that was causing that. So we got here. This place doesn't have that as bad. There are times, because sometimes I got to raise the humidity up. Oh, hell, 2 jobs. Damn. That's crazy. Keeps you busy, though. I have to raise the humidity up in here. And we live, the house is built with concrete blocks. And it will actually start molding in a couple of spots on the wall. And I will notice it really quick if it starts to do that, because I'll develop a cough. That's why I'm pretty sure it was mold that was going on at the last place. And then before all that nonsense happened with my family and stuff, when we were just living a few blocks over, that was when I first started to develop a cough, a hack. And that was when I first started, that's the reason I actually quit flying ultralights, is because I developed that cough and that hack. And I would have this thing to where, it wasn't like every time or nothing, but once in a while, I just have this, it was a very distinct cough, and I would literally black out. And I dealt with that for months. And then everything went crazy, and I moved out of that place. And when we were moving out, right before we were moving out, I did discover a bunch of mold. And so we got out of there and actually moved to Tennessee and then on down to Alabama. But that cough, that hack, disappeared. And I did not see that again until we lived in the last place. And then shortly after we got into this place, I didn't notice, but that mold that I said that would wind up growing on the wall, I didn't notice because it was behind my grow tent. But behind my grow tent, it had molded like that, pretty nasty. And it actually got bad enough that I did actually black out one day. I had that stupid, weird cough and blacked out one day. Not real long after we moved into here. So, but when I saw that, I knew what it was. I cleaned it up with bleach and water, and I haven't had that issue. So, when I do start to have a little bit of a hack, and not because I'm huffing on this stupid little pod thing, that's what I start doing. I start looking at the usual places, and I will usually find mold. I don't think so. I know the stuff that will show up on the walls here definitely isn't black mold. The last place that we were in, I would bet money that it probably was, to be quite honest. But no, not the stuff that's here. It's just the walls it's like the walls sweat almost, if that makes sense. I don't know a lot about the one one of the biggest weak points I have is like home construction kind of stuff. I don't know a whole lot about that. I can tell you that this is a concrete slab floor, and it's got, the walls are concrete block, and the outside's got like a stucco over it. There's no insulation really to speak of on the inside, and I would imagine, I don't know, I guess it's kind of plastered or something. I don't know what the hell's on the wall on the inside here, but and then it's just painted over. Well, the walls will like sweat, and there's a couple of spots. There's a corner I have behind me to where over a little bit of time you will start seeing it turn green. And vinegar will work. I use a mixture of bleach and water in a spray bottle. I just spray it down and clean it up, and it's good to go. But that's one of the things that I liked about the diesel heater. We haven't been able to run the diesel heater at all this year because we just never got diesel fuel for it. But it was like the walls wouldn't sweat using it, and it didn't dry out the air on the level that the electric heat dries out the air. And I didn't have to do anything to keep the humidity up, and therefore the walls never did sweat. So, yep, I know it loves moisture, without a doubt. And it loves, I think it loves that difference in temperature. Because the walls, when it's cold outside, if you touch the walls, they're cold. They're like cold. In fact, if I want to start seeds during the wintertime, I have to do it somewhere like more on the interior of the house. I can't have those seeds anywhere near a wall because it's like water. Like even we've got I made my own DIY Berkey water filter in there. And you damn well know when it's winter because it takes forever to filter water in comparison to the summer, because it's almost like, because it's next to the wall, it's almost like that water just sucks that coolness from the wall. And it does the same when I'm trying to start seeds. And so unless I have it on something really, really warm, like a plate on something really, really warm, to start those seeds, there's no way you can do it anywhere near the wall. You have to do it more on the inside. That's one thing I've learned living here the last several years. If I want to start seeds and it's cold outside, I got to be careful about where I start them at. Otherwise, I'm just going to kill seeds. I had a heating pad that was an old school, just, 3 levels, just a standard switch. You turn it on, it's on, And it died on me. But I was using that for a germination mat because my actual germination mat isn't strong enough to be able to fight that cool, the cool walls. So it died on me. And the heating pad that I use nightly, it's got a timer on it. So, which kind of sucks. It goes off after 90 minutes. But, anyway, hell, damn, I've been yakking for a while. I am gonna hop out of here so we can go get our, at this point it's not beauty sleep anymore. I wouldn't even call it maintenance sleep anymore. But we typically, after the show, normally I shut down around 9. And we typically, literally, like, I shut the show down, and I'm shutting screens off, shutting the computer down, closing the curtains and the blinds, and, we head to bed. We're normally in bed by 15, 20 minutes after 9 on the average night. So we're really lame like that, but get up fairly early. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and hope I have another awesome dream. I'm enjoying the nice dreams. I'm enjoying the dreams not being anything bad. I mean, that's nice. I'm used to when I dream, especially if they're vivid. Um, they're much darker in nature, and it's nice just to have dreams. I'm not used to that. I never in my life have I really just had nice, normal dreams. So I don't know why it's happening because they say that you dream every night or whatever. You just don't remember it. I don't know how much I believe that. Um, because there's a long period of time in my life that I couldn't tell you a single dream. But it's been a while, and they've restarted, it seems, and they're just nice. It was so nice to see the different landscapes and terrains and stuff like that of Russia. Kind of odd as far as the aspect I was talking about earlier that, their like version of the FBI kept testing me and checking me out, but it wasn't a stressful kind of thing. And towards the end of the dream, just open talking to these people, and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time joking and having a good time talking, and they're just like us, and that's what I've always, well, I mean, I've got Russian friends, so I know they're just like us. They're no different, and in fact, they're great, fun individuals without a doubt. But alrighty, you got it, Kevin, and I will be praying for you, and just make a decision on how you're going to do it, and just stick to it. And if you find yourself, having a really big problem with fighting the temptation, talk to the Father. Each and every time, talk to the Father. Consider, like Watchman said, hard candy. Consider the sunflower seeds. Anything you can to help you out, brother. And a lot of it is that hand-to-mouth thing. That's a big part of it. So keep that mouth busy. Get you a little fidget spinner thing or whatever. And it might help out a lot. Right on, brother. Well, hopefully your day gets better, Leo. I am going to go get all cozy with a big dog, and that's actually one of my favorite things of the day, is when I go to bed and snuggle up with the blue. So, anyway, I am out of here. I hope you all have a blessed evening. Same to you, Leo. Have a good one, brother. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow evening. Shalom, folks.